Speaking of Shuj City, there was a scholar named Shang Shiyu. He made it just after getting drunk and offended a wealthy man in the county. As a result, the wealthy man had his servants beat Shang Shiyu, who was then taken home but died shortly after. Shang Shiyu had two sons. The elder son was Shang Chen, the younger one Shang Li. And he also had a daughter named Shang Sanguan, who was only 16 years old. Sanguan was about to get married, but due to her father's death, the wedding plans were postponed. Her two brothers filed complaints and pursued legal action for a year, but achieved no results. Sanguan's prospective in-laws sent someone to visit her mother, discussing the possibility of compromise and urging the marriage to proceed sooner. The mother was considering agreeing to this. Upon learning about it, Sanguan approached her mother and said, "How can we celebrate joyous occasions while my father's body is still warm? Does their family not have parents?" Upon hearing these words, the prospective in-laws felt ashamed and abandoned their initial intentions. Not long after, Sanguan's two brothers lost their lawsuit, returning home with grievances and frustration. The entire family was filled with grief and indignation. Shang Chen and Shang Li intended to preserve their father's body as evidence for future appeals. However, Sanguan advised against this, saying, "When someone is killed and the authorities refuse to take action, what does that say about the state of the world? Do you think the heavens will specially send Judge Luo for the two of you? To leave our father's body exposed for an extended period, how could we bear that?" Her brothers saw the reason in her words and ended up burying their father. Once the funeral was over, Sanguan suddenly disappeared overnight, and no one knew where she went. Her mother was anxious and afraid, reluctant to inform her relatives or neighbors, fearing that her in-laws might find out. She secretly instructed her two sons to discreetly investigate Sanguan's whereabouts. Nearly half a year passed, and Sanguan was still nowhere to be found. One day, the wealthy man who had killed Shang Shiyu coincidentally celebrated his birthday with a few actors performing to mark the occasion. The lead actor was named Sun Chun, accompanied by two apprentices. One was Wang Chang, plain in appearance but with a clear and melodious singing voice that drew praise. The other was Li Yu, beautiful and graceful in appearance, like a pretty young woman. When guests requested that he sing, Li Yu declined, claiming he didn't know how to sing. After much insistence, he reluctantly sang a few songs in the local style, accompanied by local folk tunes, causing the guests to burst into laughter and applaud. Sun Chun was embarrassed and reported to the host, "My apprentice has not been with me for long, and he's not skilled in singing. He can only assist with serving wine and such. I hope you won't mind." The host then ordered Li Yu to serve wine. Li Yu moved about attending to the guests, skillfully gauging their preferences when pouring wine. The wealthy man was delighted. Once the banquet concluded and the guests dispersed, he detained Li Yu and expressed his desire to share a bed with him. Li Yu tidied the bed for the wealthy man, helped him remove his shoes, and served attentively. In his drunken state, the wealthy man kept making provocative remarks, to which Li Yu merely smiled faintly. Becoming even more infatuated, the wealthy man dismissed all his servants, leaving only Li Yu behind. Seeing the servants leave, Li Yu closed the door and bolted it. The servants had all gone to other rooms to drink. Shortly after, one of the servants heard strange laughter from the wealthy man's bedroom and stealthily went in to take a look. The room was pitch black and silent. Thinking nothing of it, he turned to leave. But suddenly, there was a loud bang from the room, as if something heavy had fallen after a rope snapped. The servant urgently called out a couple of times, but there was no response. Panicking, he called for others to break open the door and rushed inside. There, they found the wealthy man's head separated from his body, and Li Yu had hung himself. The rope holding him had broken, causing his body to fall to the ground, with a piece of rope still attached to the beam. Everyone was shocked and alarmed, quickly notifying the wealthy man's family. Gathered together, they were unable to fathom what had happened. They moved Li Yu's body to the courtyard, and when they lifted it, they noticed that his shoes and socks were empty, as if he had no feet. Removing his shoes, they saw small, arched feet and realized that Li Yu was actually a woman. This discovery shocked them even more. They summoned Sun Chun for questioning. Terrified, Sun Chun was at a loss for words, saying, Liu joined me as an apprentice just a month ago. He volunteered to come along to celebrate our host's birthday. I have no idea where he came from. Observing that Liu was dressed in mourning clothes, they suspected her to be an assassin from the Shang family and ordered to people to guard the body temporarily, planning to report to the authorities. Although the woman was dead, her appearance still appeared vivid and lifelike. Upon touching her, her body was still warm. The two guards harbored sinister intentions and decided to violate the body. As one of them lifted the body, intending to undress her, he suddenly felt a strong blow to the back of his head. His mouth opened, blood spurted, and in an instant, he was dead. The other guard was shocked and immediately informed the others. The others were alarmed and fearful upon hearing this, regarding Liu's body as if it were that of a divine being. After the wealthy man's family reported the incident to the county magistrate summoned Shang Chen and Shang Li for questioning. The two of them simply said, "We don't know anything. Our sister disappeared half a year ago, and we haven't seen her since." The county magistrate took them to examine the body and confirmed that the deceased was indeed Shang Sanguan. The county magistrate was greatly astonished and ruled that Shang Chen and Shang Li should take their sister's body back for burial. He also issued an edict forbidding the wealthy man's family from continuing their feud with the Shang family.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.